Hey everyone, Chris from Scrambler Stories here. This is a long overdue video that I started filming before quarantine and COVID-19 really hit. And it's about Poet Motors, which is a shop based out of New Orleans that sells motorcycle merchandise, a lot of lifestyle stuff. Well, it's a lot of things. He's got books, he's got tank bags, he's got not just shirts that he made, like the one the one I'm wearing right now. It's kind of like a vintage racer shirt or a vintage flat track shirt. But he also sells some motorcycle jackets, and he'll find some vintage things, and he'll stock those in the store as well. So he's got a variety of stuff. But anyhow, yeah, the shop is really cool. I really love the idea behind it. It's not just a great idea, it's a passion project. And I love passion projects. You know, the Scrambler Stories is a passion project, right? I don't really make any money off of it, and I've put a lot of money into it, unfortunately, all the camera gear. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of when somebody is passionate about something and they want to build something with that passion. And in the case of like a business, that's great. Why not make something that you're passionate about, your job? So anyhow, it's a super cool shop in New Orleans. And of course, if you're visiting or you're nearby, you know, take a ride down the city and go see the store in person. But if you're not, he sells things online, so have no fear. If you want something really cool like this vintage style sweater, this is a small. I generally wear a small. These run small. They're supposed to be tight. I could lose a couple more pounds still, and I'm working on it and building some muscle up here. It's slow going though. But yeah, I mean, check out the store online, and I'll leave the link in the description. Otherwise, here's a quick little interview I had with Bronson about his shop and why he created it. At the very end of this, I actually wrote a poem to kind of just to finish this off about motorcycling. And yeah, hope you enjoy.
So Poet Motors was inspired 10 years ago. I read this quote from Lucinda Williams when she said, "A perfect man was a poet on a motorcycle." And it kind of stuck with me. She actually said, I mean, I don't want to get it wrong. She said, "The perfect man is a poet on a motorcycle. You know, the kind who lives on the edge, the free spirit, but he's also got to have the soul of a poet and a brilliant mind. So, you know, good luck." So I read that in Esquire magazine like 10 years ago and it just stuck with me. And so when I was putting together the idea for this shop and the logos and the various merchandise and stuff, it just stuck with me, and it seemed like an obvious choice to call it Poet Motors and you know, sort of make an experience that we all can sort of aspire to be that perfect man. So we sell motorcycle gear and accessories, mostly lifestyle gear like hats and t-shirts, jackets. I have some vintage stuff as well, kind of that I handpick, not a lot. And then we have a tank bag, a magnetic tank bag that I developed with Chop Industries, which is a local business here in New Orleans. I worked with them to develop sort of what is a take on a DOP kit, but it has super strong magnets in the base of it, and so it's sort of a universal tank bag for any bike that has a metal tank. And so I use it. I've got my daily riders are an old Moto Guzzi, I've got a Royal Enfield, and a Triumph Thruxton, and I use it on all three. And I just kind of, whatever bike I'm on that day, I slap it on, and when I'm at home, I just slap it on my refrigerator. Well, I don't like to carry anything in my pockets when I ride, and I don't like to carry much anyway, generally, but it's perfect for keys, wallet, paperback book.
Yes, right.
You know, yeah, iPhone, yeah, all that stuff. So, and you know, it's got a nice handle, it looks good, it's canvas, it's not. Yeah. So, you know, and I'm working on adding more of those sort of proprietary products like that. But largely it's the lifestyle stuff. I've always loved motorcycles. I've had them for a long time. Rode when I was a kid, stopped for a while, and then picked it up maybe 15 years ago. Now I have 5 bikes and any more, and I'm getting a divorce, so that's the limit for right now. But I've always wanted to have a bike shop, and I was an attorney in New York City, and life was just a total drag. So moved down here looking for a better life and better quality of life, and opened this little bike shop selling motorcycle accessories and gear, displaying my bikes. I'm not really good about selling bikes. I'm good about acquiring bikes, but not getting rid of them. But bikes as a backdrop, but just kind of an experience, and I'm hoping to expand beyond this to make it even more of an experience. Maybe in the future have a bigger space, a cafe, just somewhere for people to hang out who also love motorcycles. We go to LA a bunch, my wife and I was inspired by the Deus Ex Machina space out there. It's great. So something like that would be the ultimate goal, just to have that here in New Orleans. Have a place for people to hang out, whether you have a bike or not. I would love to have my own kind of larger space, standalone space that expands with more bikes, some cafe, bar, I don't know, something, just a bigger gathering place that allows people to come hang out and just, like the bike shed or like Deus, just kind of be together and talk about bikes or talk about life. It doesn't have to be bikes, but just kind of a cool place to hang out. And I think, New Orleans doesn't really have that yet. Motorcycles are funny because I think they still have this sort of, people have this feeling about motorcycles where it's the Hells Angels or something still. But 95% of the motorcyclists I've ever met are lawyers or bankers or artists or poets or musicians, or there's all sorts of pretty eclectic people, pretty cool people, pretty nice people. It's like the old Honda. You meet the nicest people on a Honda. So I'm part of a collective called The Good Shop, and the idea is that we all give back charitably in some way, and we use we're as sustainable as we can be. And it's really cool because I'm the sole man here amongst, there's 6 of us total, so there's 5 women, and so they were kind enough to allow me to join them. But it's a collective of, there's candles and soaps and ceramics and custom clothing all up front, and then there's a perfumery in the back. So I'm sort of tucked here in the middle as I like to say, the world's best smelling motorcycle shop. It just smells like candles and perfume in here. Yeah.
And so all your stuff, besides being for sale in New Orleans, you can buy it online?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Poetmotors.com, and we ship, domestically and also internationally. But international shipping, we, just reach out to figure out what the shipping costs will be. But everything that's here in the shop is available online as well.
Except for the motorcycles.
Except for the motorcycles, not for sale.
Quick note that I was not paid for this or sponsored. I did this on my own will, and I bought with this sweater that I'm wearing and a few other things. It's important to support brands that do things that you appreciate, especially when they're a local business. I really like the sweater, by the way. I feel like I'm about to do a flat track race from the 70s or something. Maybe even older, I guess. I don't know. I like it though. Maybe I'll wear it to the Harley Museum when I go. I don't have a title for this poem, but it's by yours truly. I hope you enjoy. Now we're gonna go full on retro hipster on this one. Let's go black and white. Better, that's much better. Cold and lifeless, until the machine is awoken from a spark. A kick or the push of a button brings rebirth. The beast has oil in the veins, a thirst for gasoline, and miles on the mind. We straddle these contraptions. An engine, a fuel tank, wheels and controls. The rudimentary ingredients that bring wind to our face and happiness to our souls. A twist of the throttle excites a roar from the engine. The wheels spin and adventures begin. And with that, we are alive again. Big thanks to Bronson for allowing me to film in his store and interview him. Like I said, check him out. You can go to his website, or if you can go to New Orleans, you can go see his store. It's right off Magazine Street. I'll put all the stuff in the description. And as far as me, if you're not familiar with my channel, I ride a Triumph Scrambler all around and do stupid stuff with it. I rode last year from Key West, Florida to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, and then back down to New Orleans. And you can check that out. It's called Scramble to Dead Horse. And as of right now, I'm be living full-time from the road and be filming. So if you want to come along for the adventure, please subscribe. This series is going to be called Scramble the States. Otherwise, take care and scramble on.
Yeah, when I lived in New York, we had a loft in Tribeca, and we also had a place upstate that was an old schoolhouse. And I used to have my 49 Norton inside, kind of as a piece of art. My wife wasn't so sure about that, but I tried to explain to her that it is a piece of art. I'd love to have another place someday that I can actually get a few bikes inside as well.